Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the Brownwood Lions Coach Show here on KOXE. I'm Derek Stuckley, along with Brownwood Lions head football coach, athletic director Sammy Burnett. How you doing today, Coach?
I'm doing well, Stuckley. How are you?
I am.
Other than the fact that it was 70 something degrees day before or yesterday, and it's like 35 today.
Yeah, it was cold coming out of the basketball games last
Yes, it
night.
was. That wind was blowing.
Yeah, I don't think people were prepared for that,
You,
judging from
I
all the
don't. I
screaming.
don't know if you saw me, but I escorted the officials out last night. I thought that was the right thing to do.
Yes, you almost had to escort some other people
Yeah,
out
we
last
sure
night,
did.
but that's another story.
Threw out a bunch of folks at Warren Gym last night.
Well, but there were a lot of fouls called in that
There was a
game.
lot of reason to be rowdy.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's first start with football. Of course, season wrapped up Friday. All district selections came out earlier this week. We dominated all district teams. So now we're, I guess, heading into off season. I guess how is all that going to work for y'all going forward?
Well, we have a couple of weeks until the Christmas break. So what we do is we get an evaluation. I pass out to all our varsity kids. I pass out an evaluation of the program, which is an opportunity for them to give feedback to us on things that they thought were well, things that weren't so well, areas that they thought they could do better or we could do better as coaches or whatever. So it also tells you the culture of the team at the time. So that's very important to me. So we did that. We're going through evaluations right now of coaches and their positions and their players. So we'll do an evaluation of every one of our kids on the JV and the varsity from this year, and it's just an honest evaluation of where we feel they are, what areas they need to grow in, and the direction that we see them going and where we want them to get. And I think that's really important. I think it's important to be brutally honest with your kids. They got to know where they are. They have expectations. Sometimes those expectations are on point. Some of them are far-fetched, and it's our job as coaches to keep them grounded. And some of them's expectations aren't as high as they should be. So it's an opportunity for us to really evaluate them, tell them what we think and how we feel about them and where they are and what they can do to grow and make the program better. So we started that today with our defensive coaches did the varsity, and then our sub-varsity were done by the offensive coaches, and they'll switch, and we'll finish that. So we'll put that behind us, and that's very important to me. I go through all those, and then I have an opportunity to take all of those at the end and put my 2 cents on them and sit one-on-one and talk with the kids. So it takes a little bit of time to do that, but I think it's really important. I think honesty is a big deal, and I think those kids need to know where they stand in the program and what expectations we have and what direction they want to go and how we can help them get there. Then we've been cleaning our facilities, turning everything in. We take everything up. Coach Stacks is our equipment guy. Turn everything in. He checks it in so we have a proper inventory, so we know what we need to do to order to get things ready for next year. And then also he'll start issuing off-season equipment to them so that we can start off-season. So that's this week. Next week we're going to start all of our testing, see where we are at the end of the football season based on where we were at the end of the summer. Did we maintain our strength, that kind of stuff. So we'll test our kids next week and make sure we have it all in the system so that we can work on our weight sheet. So then when we come back after Christmas, they'll be ready to hit off season, 5 days a week. That last week is testing. So we get 2 days that we have them. So we'll take those 2 days and acclimate them to what it's going to be like in off season if they haven't been there. Those freshmen, those eighth graders will start traveling over and working out with us. So we're just getting ready. So when January gets here, and it's a little later for us, thank the good Lord, because we're able to play longer, so we don't have as much time. So when January hits, we'll be hitting it 100%, getting stronger and faster, getting ready for the next season, which is, it's crazy. It's just a never-ending circle, a cycle of, finish the season, start getting ready for the next one. So we've already been talking personnel. It's just crazy sort of how it works. One ends, turn the page, a new chapter begins, and off we get to running again and working on the future. So it's exciting. Our kids are transitioning well. Kids are very resilient. They have a smile on their faces. They're proud of what they're doing. And then yesterday got to go see some of them, convert to basketball, and now they're out there having fun doing that. So I'm really excited about where we are with our kids and in the program.
While we're still on the topic of football here, of course, playoffs continue, state quarterfinals or regional championship rounds. Any thoughts on the Wichita Falls Decatur game this week? I know we played Wichita Falls last week, scrimmage Decatur way back when. So
I think it's going to be a good game. They had a overtime battle the last time they played. To be honest, sort of sets tough with me. I'm not able to go back and watch our game from last Friday night yet. I always have to take some time to do that. I hadn't even thought about football when it comes to other teams. I don't want to look at the app because it's hard. It's tough. So I haven't thought about it. I'm not going to go watch a game. I just choose not to do that. I want to have a little peace and be positive. So I really hadn't thought of it. That it's going to be a good game. Decatur's a good football team. They got a 4-star running back. If they feed him the ball, they're going to be successful. But Wichita Falls is a good football team as well. Their kids play hard. They gave them, they were up in that game, the first game with them in district. They were up the whole game, and Decatur scored late. And then I'll be dang if Wichita Falls didn't drive down to kick a field goal late to tie it, and then wind up losing in overtime. So it's going to be a good ball game. I'm not going to watch it. I'll look at the scores on Monday, but it's going to take me a little bit of time to. I guess I need to sulk a little bit, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So I sort of stay away from the apps and that kind of stuff just because it's just not what I want to do right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, you were at the gym last night. Saw you at the gym last night. We talked about that a little. The Lions got their first basketball victory last night, 77-63 over Jim Ned. Of course, they had all the football guys. I think they added about 7 players. So what were your thoughts on what you saw last night?
Saw a lot of basketball last night.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it started with watched the JV team play. They were victorious. On the boys' side, were victorious against their game against Jim Ned. I thought they played extremely well. Really fun to watch those guys play. I think several of those kids have been playing at the varsity level until the other basketball guys came out. So it was neat to watch them. I traveled all the way back there to the auxiliary gym, which used to be the gym when I was growing up. That was the main gym.
Way back then.
Way back then. And watched our freshman team, and they absolutely dominated. That's a good group of kids. They have fun, play well out there, and Coach Stacks is coaching them, and they were running out 5 at a time, and they weren't missing a beat, having fun, and they dominated their game. And then, of course, the varsity was victorious in theirs. They were down, early, and just kept battling, and Tristan Salinas, who's a point guard, sort of found his groove like he could do and started knocking down threes from all over the court, and they played extremely well. And those football guys that are transitioning to basketball got acclimated to the game and all that kind of stuff. And I always laugh when I watch them because they're in shape, but they're not in basketball shape.
Right.
It's 2 totally different shapes. And if you ever played football and basketball, you understand what I'm saying. I mean, running down the basketball court, and you're breathing a lot faster and all that, so you got to have a different cardiovascular fitness, and it takes a little time to do that. So I was watching those guys, and some of them were sucking a little wind, but they played well, had fun. They're exciting to watch. I can tell it's going to be an exciting year. Coach Parker does a phenomenal job with them, and they're victorious, so all 3 of the boys' teams won. Watching the girls play, our little freshman team scored a layup basket towards the end of the game, and then had to stall a little bit to come out with a victory. They won by 2 points, and then to go over to the main gym, and the JV girls are playing, and I'll be dang if they don't battle back and get in the game. That they were behind most of the game, and they battle back and wind up little Smith girl hit a basket and then got to go to the line and made that free throw. So not only she tied up, she put the 31 point on the board, and they wind up fending them off and winning their game by 1 at the end. So that was pretty neat to watch. It got a little excitement in the gym. And then our girls played. They weren't victorious. They, were outclassed by Jim Ned. I think they got beat by 30-something points. But, our girls played hard. They fought to be in the game. And here's the deal. Jim Ned is good.
Oh, yeah.
They got a couple of girls talking to their athletic director that are D1 prospects. They could shoot lights out. You can tell that's what they do is play basketball. Man, they were really enjoyable to watch, honestly, and I don't mean that in a negative way. Our girls were out there fighting like crazy. We're young and we're learning, and our girls fought, but they have some girls that can just flat out play basketball, and they could shoot from anywhere. So Our varsity girls were the only team that weren't victorious, but I thought they played extremely well, and they'll get to where they need to be. But I tip my hat to that Gym Ned girls varsity team. They're pretty special. I mean, you got to enjoy those times of in our size, schools when you're up and down. Your years do this. Uh, you got to tip your hat to them. They got a good team, and you got to enjoy those moments when you can.
Yeah. They seem to have a size advantage on our girls
They
at
did.
every position. How much it seems in girls basketball that's more of a difference maker than in boys basketball, just the size. So, just how much of that plays into a factor.
I think it plays a lot. I think we're out height wise by all of them. We're not a tall group of girls right now. They're athletic and they move well, but when you're wanting to get in, if you're not a good perimeter shooting team against girls that aren't going to put a bunch of pressure in your face and allow you to shoot from the perimeter, that's fine. But when you're having to penetrate and play in the box and get rebounds and all that kind of stuff, you're definitely at a disadvantage. And that's the first thing I noticed when they came out was how tall they were.
Mm-hmm.
And not only were they tall, they were extremely skilled, and they had some girls that could just, like I said, could flat out shoot from anywhere. I think their first 5 baskets, if I quit counting, they just dropped them like it's nothing. So I knew at that moment it was going to be tough on us because their girls were seasoned and educated, and you can tell they're basketball specialists, and it's tough to get in there and battle it up when you got someone that's 4 or 5 inches taller than you are, and you're trying to fight for offensive or defensive rebounds, knowing that if you don't get some separation on the perimeter and make those shots, you're not going to be successful. So I tip my hat to them. They got a good program right now, and I tip my hat to our girls. They weren't victorious, but they played hard, and they played well, and I thought they did the best they could. So that's all you can ask of them.
Yeah. Back to the boys' game. Tristan Salinas scores 33 points, first time out of the gate this year. So
I'd like to see his shot chart. I don't know if there's a spot on the court he didn't shoot from. And I'm talking half court line. Doesn't matter. You gonna say they call him Saggy, and as he's come out of, they call him Swaggy. That's his nickname. So I told him when he come out of the locker room, hey, if they're sagging, you're swagging. And he was just knocking them down. But he's been in the gym. He played football this year. Was a vital part of what we did, and it was fun to be around. He's got a great personality, but he wasn't hot early. But once he got hot, man, he sort of took control and actually got us back in the ballgame in the first half, I thought.
Yeah, he didn't score in the first quarter. Then he had 17 points by himself in the second quarter. And once he started hitting, he just started shooting from everywhere.
That's right, and he was hitting. And, everyone sort of followed suit, and I thought they played well. I think Luke Gray does a great job getting in there and banging it around. I mean, he's a physical guy, and he's got a lot of passion. And Trent Lofton got in, and I thought for his first time being out there on the court, I thought he did extremely well. Marcelo Hooker, Jason Jackson, who didn't play basketball last year, who's playing this year, I thought did well. All those guys, Hayden Profit, I could go down the list. They all played well, and they play really hard for Coach Parker. Coach Parker is an extremely likable guy. He builds relationships with those kids, and they want to get out there and compete for them, and it shows. So I'm really pleased with what I saw, and I'm really looking forward to see how good they can be because I think they have potential, and see what they can do with that.
All right. So what else is going on this week, Coach?
We got really the only thing on the slate other than soccer practice. Our boys and girls are out there practicing now, getting ready for their games. Is we have 2 basketball tournaments. Our boys will travel Thursday, Friday, and Saturday to Dublin to play in the Dublin tournament, and our girls will travel to Lorena and play in the Lorena basketball tournament on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So other than that, that's what we got.
All right. Well, anything else you want to mention today? Anything else going on?
This morning it was neat to see they had the little elementary school Super Bowls for those teams and that Coach Brown takes those groups and puts them through football, and the winner 2 teams get to go play in the Super Bowl at Brownwood Stadium. It's chilly this morning, but got to go out and see that, so that was pretty neat. Congratulations to those kids that got to do that, and Coach Brown for what he does for those kids. But other than that, not much going on right now other than transitioning to our next sport. We had some kids go to soccer, the others are going to basketball, and now getting ready for your off-season athletic period to create better athletes. So other than that, that's what we got going on.
All right. Well,
can we thank those that make this show
how about
possible?
we do that?
Let's do that.
All right.
It'll be Auto Glass Magic, Burner Auto Group, Syntex Body and Paint, Syntex Equipment Sales, Citizens National Bank, Dan Hill Containers, Dr. Bon Young, Dr. Pepper Bottling Company, Edward Jones Investment, Henrik Medical, Howard Enterprises, Humphrey Pete's, Heartland Funeral Home, Landmark Life, MC Bank, Painter and Johnson Associates, Smith and Sharp Agencies, Sonic Drive-In, Stanley Chrysler, Texas Bank, Weldon Wilson Electric, Western Bank, and Willie's Tees.
All right, that'll wrap up today's show. We'll be back Monday here on KOXE, KOXE.com, the KOXE app, and the KOXE Facebook pages.
Stay warm. Have a great day, Brownwood.